Marcus Chen floated through the metal corridors of the containment station, his toolkit bumping against his leg. He had been to many strange places in the galaxy, but this one made his skin crawl. The station was old and cold, orbiting a star that had died millions of years ago. Everything here felt wrong. "You are the human engineer?" A tall alien with purple skin and 4 arms approached him. The translator in Marcus's ear turned the clicks and whistles into words he could understand. "Yes, I'm here to fix the stasis systems," Marcus replied. The alien's face twisted in what might have been worry. "Good. The systems are failing faster than we reported. We did not want to cause panic." Marcus felt his stomach drop. How much faster? "The beast will wake in 72 hours. Marcus had heard stories about the beast. Every species in the galaxy knew about the Ravenous Queen's beast. It was a monster from an ancient war, created by the long-dead Vornath Empire. The thing was 300 feet long, covered in black armor, and had jaws that could crush starships. It had destroyed 17 worlds before the Galactic Council caught it and put it to sleep 10,000 years ago. They kept it alive because killing it would be worse. Its body carried deadly spores that would poison an entire solar system. So it slept in a frozen prison, forgotten by almost everyone. Marcus worked through the night, running tests on the massive stasis field generators. The numbers made him feel sick. The equipment was too old, too damaged. He could slow the failure but not stop it. At hour 36, he called for a meeting with the station council. 6 different alien species appeared on his screen, their faces showing different types of fear. "I can give you 48 hours, Marcus said. "Then the field collapses completely." "Then we evacuate now," said a reptilian SS Roddy commander. "We destroy the station from a safe distance." "But the spores," Marcus started, "will only contaminate this dead system. It is acceptable loss." The alien's voice was cold and final. Marcus spent the next hours watching the aliens pack their equipment and prepare to leave. Something bothered him. He accessed the old archives, reading files that had not been opened in thousands of years. He found videos of the Vornath Queen who had created the beast. In the ancient recordings, she did not treat the creature like a weapon. She spoke to it gently, touched its scales with care, called it her daughter. Marcus walked to the observation deck and looked through the thick glass at the beast. It hung suspended in blue energy, its massive form perfectly still. But the monitors showed something the others had not mentioned. The creature's brain was active. It was not fully asleep. It was trapped, aware, and in pain from the failing field. "You poor thing," Marcus whispered. He made his decision then. It was stupid. It was insane. Every logical part of his brain screamed at him to leave. But Marcus had never been good at listening to logic. He sent a message to the evacuation coordinator, "I'm staying." The response came in minutes. The entire council appeared on his screen, all of them speaking at once. The translator could not keep up. "You cannot save it. It will kill you. Human fool." Marcus waited for them to finish. Then he spoke quietly. "Maybe I can't save it, but I can try. I'm not leaving a living creature to die alone and afraid." The Korthari Council leader leaned forward. "We declare you insane. You have 48 hours. Then we destroy the station with you on it." "Understood," Marcus said and cut the connection. He grabbed his tools and walked toward the containment chamber. Behind him, the last evacuation ship detached from the station. He was alone now, except for the ancient monster that everyone called a beast. Marcus smiled grimly. "Let's see if we can prove them all wrong." Marcus spent the first 6 hours reading everything he could find about the Vornath Empire. Most files were locked, marked as forbidden knowledge. But with the station empty, no one could stop him from breaking into the old databases. What he found changed everything. The Vornath Queen had not built the beast as a weapon. She had transformed her own daughter. The girl had been dying from a plague, and the Queen used forbidden science to save her. She merged her daughter with ancient genetic codes, creating something new, something powerful, something that could survive anything. But the Empire saw a weapon, not a child. They took the beast away and programmed her to fight. They starved her, hurt her, forced her to become the monster they wanted. The Queen had tried to stop them and was killed for her rebellion. Marcus felt anger burning in his chest. This creature had been a victim, not a villain. He walked to the containment chamber and pressed his hand against the wall. "Can you hear me in there?" he said softly. The monitors flickered. The beast's brain patterns changed slightly. "I know you're awake. I know you're scared." Marcus kept his voice calm and gentle. It was the same voice he had used years ago on Earth, when he worked with animals that everyone else had given up on. Wolves that had attacked people. bears that had been tortured. Everyone said those animals should be killed. Marcus had proved them wrong. My name is Marcus. I'm going to help you. For 3 hours he talked to the beast. He told her about Earth, about rain and forests and oceans. He told her about his work saving animals. He played music through the speakers, old songs his grandmother had taught him. The beast's patterns shifted from pain to something else. Confusion. Then curiosity. Marcus studied the chamber controls and made a dangerous choice. He opened the inner door and stepped inside the containment zone. He wore only a basic environmental suit. If the beast wanted to kill him, nothing could stop her. Alarms screamed. Automated warnings told him he would die. Marcus ignored them all. The blue stasis field hummed around the massive creature. Up close, she was even bigger than Marcus had imagined. Her scales were black and silver, beautiful in a terrifying way. Her eyes were closed, but he could see them moving beneath the lids. I brought you something, Marcus said. He had spent 2 hours programming the food synthesizer to create Vornath nutrients. The ancient records showed what the beast's original body needed. Not meat. Not blood. Simple proteins and minerals. He placed the food near the field edge where she could smell it. The beast's breathing changed. One massive eye opened, glowing pale blue in the darkness. It focused on Marcus. Every instinct told Marcus to run. He forced himself to stay still. It's okay, he whispered. I'm a friend. The eye studied him for a long moment. Then it closed again. But the beast's skin began to glow with soft patterns of light. Blues and greens rippled across her scales. Marcus remembered reading about Vornath communication. They spoke with light patterns as well as sound. The beast was trying to talk to him. He spent the next 12 hours learning her language. He programmed his tablet to create light patterns in response. Simple things at first. Yes, no, safe, danger, friend. The beast learned quickly. She was intelligent, far more than anyone had realized. She asked questions through the lights. Where? What? Alone? Not alone anymore, Marcus answered with his patterns. 30 hours before the station's destruction, Marcus did something insane. He reached through the weakening stasis field and touched the beast's armored hide. She could have killed him instantly. Instead, she held perfectly still and let him rest his hand on her scales. Her light patterns pulsed with a single word that Marcus had taught her. Thank you. On their monitoring stations thousands of miles away, the alien observers watched in shock. The impossible was happening. A human had befriended the galaxy's greatest monster. 24 hours remained before the alien fleets would fire their weapons and destroy the station. Marcus had not slept. His hands shook as he worked on the stasis field controls, reprogramming them with desperate speed. What are you doing, human? A voice crackled over the comm system. It was Commander Vectal of the SS Roddy fleet. Controlled awakening, Marcus said, not looking up from his work. If the field fails all at once, she'll panic. She'll be confused and scared. But if I wake her slowly, gently, she can adjust. That is insanity. You will die. Maybe, Marcus admitted. But it's her only chance. He had connected his tablet to the beast's neural interface. Through it he shared everything he could with her. Human music that spoke of hope and freedom. Stories about creatures who overcame their programming. Videos of Earth's oceans and mountains. He wanted her to know that a better world existed beyond this cold prison. The beast's responses grew stronger each hour. Her light patterns became complex sentences. She asked about the sky. About choice. About what it meant to be free. Marcus showed her recordings of birds flying and told her that every living thing deserved to choose its own path. What will you choose? He asked through the lights. Her answer was simple. Life. Free. Friend. With 18 hours left, Marcus began the awakening sequence. The stasis field would weaken gradually over the next day, allowing the beast's body to adjust. It was risky, but it was better than a violent sudden awakening. Then everything went wrong. An explosion rocked the station. Marcus fell hard against the controls. Alarms screamed through the corridors. He pulled himself up and checked the monitors. Someone had sabotaged the power core. Who did this? He shouted into the comm. A different voice answered, cold and angry. The Velkeen Purity Council. We will not allow human sentiment to release this abomination. Better to destroy it now than risk your foolish experiment. Marcus's blood went cold. The sabotage had damaged the awakening sequence. The stasis field was collapsing too fast now. The beast would wake in minutes, not hours. He ran toward the containment chamber, his tools banging against his side. He had to manually adjust the field generators or the shock would kill her. The corridor exploded in front of him. Marcus was thrown backward, slamming into a wall. Pain shot through his ribs. Something warm ran down his face. Blood. He tried to stand but his leg would not work properly. Broken maybe. Or just badly hurt. It did not matter. He crawled forward, pulling himself across the metal floor toward the chamber. The lights in the chamber turned from blue to red. The stasis field flickered and died. Marcus heard a sound that shook the entire station. A roar that was part pain, part confusion, part rage. The beast was awake. Marcus dragged himself to the chamber entrance. Through his blurry vision he saw her. The massive creature was standing now, her scales rippling with angry red light. Her eyes blazed as she looked around the prison that had held her for 10,000 years. Then those eyes found Marcus, broken and bleeding on the floor. Every monitor in the galaxy showed what happened next. The military fleets prepared to fire. The alien councils held their breath. Everyone expected the beast to feed on the helpless human. Instead, she moved toward him with impossible gentleness. Her massive claw, each talon as long as Marcus's arm, carefully lifted him. She carried him away from the damaged corridor to a safer area of the chamber. Her light patterns pulsed across her body in the language Marcus had taught her. Friend. Protect. She curled her enormous body around Marcus, shielding him from the station's automated defense systems that were firing randomly. Her scales formed a wall between him and danger. Marcus smiled despite the pain. Good girl, he whispered. Now let's show them what you really are. Marcus woke to the sound of his own heartbeat. For a moment he forgot where he was. Then he felt the warmth around him and remembered. The beast was still curled protectively around his body, her breathing slow and steady. He checked his tablet. Every major species in the galaxy was watching the live feed from the station. Billions of eyes waited to see if the human would be eaten. We need to talk to them, Marcus said quietly. The beast's eye opened. Her light patterns asked a question. Why? Because they're afraid of you. We need to show them the truth. Marcus struggled to his feet, using the beast's scales to steady himself. His ribs screamed with pain but he ignored it. He activated the station's main communication system. Galactic Council, this is Marcus Chen. I'm alive. The beast has not harmed me. The council chamber appeared on his screen. Dozens of alien faces stared at him in disbelief. Impossible, whispered Commander Vectal. The creature is a killer. It destroyed 17 worlds. No, Marcus said firmly. The Vornath Empire used her as a weapon. They programmed her to kill. But that programming is breaking down. She's making her own choices now. Lies, shouted a Velkine representative. The beast cannot change. It must be destroyed. Marcus felt the beast tense behind him. Her scales flickered with orange light. Anger. Easy, Marcus whispered to her. They're just scared. He turned back to the council. I can prove she's changed. Let me show you something. Marcus pulled up his research files. The Vornath records say the beast needs to eat living prey. That she survives on blood and flesh. But I've tested her biology. It's a lie. She can live on synthetic proteins. The Empire lied to make her seem more terrifying. He gestured to the beast. For the past 2 days I've been feeding her synthesized nutrients. She's healthy. She's strong. And she hasn't tried to eat a single living thing. The council members whispered among themselves. Even if this is true, said a Korthari elder, how can we trust it? The creature is powerful enough to destroy fleets. Because she chooses not to, Marcus said. That's the whole point. She has the power to kill but she chooses peace. Isn't that what matters? An explosion suddenly rocked the station. The Velkine saboteurs were still active, trying to trigger the self-destruct systems. They're in the reactor core, Marcus's tablet warned. Overload in 10 minutes. Marcus looked at the beast. Can you help me stop them? Her light patterns pulsed with determination. Protect. Friend. Protect station. Together they moved through the damaged corridors. The beast used her massive strength to tear through blocked passages. Marcus directed her toward the reactor core. His leg hurt terribly but he kept moving. They found 3 Velkine soldiers at the reactor controls, programming a meltdown sequence. The beast roared. It was a sound that could crack metal. The Velkine turned and saw her, their faces going pale with terror. Marcus expected the beast to attack. Instead, she carefully positioned herself between the saboteurs and the reactor. Her light pattern spoke clearly. No. Stop. Leave. The Velkine stared in shock. The monster was giving them a chance to surrender. Marcus stepped forward and manually shut down the overload sequence. His hands flew across the controls. With seconds to spare, he stopped the countdown. The Velkeen dropped their weapons. They had no words. The council watched everything through the station cameras. The silence in the chamber was complete. Finally, the Korthari elder spoke. "We have seen enough. The beast has shown mercy when she could have shown violence. She has chosen to protect rather than destroy." Commander Vectal nodded slowly. "We will grant a probationary period. But the beast cannot remain here. She must be relocated to a quarantine world under supervision." Marcus looked at the beast. Her light patterns asked a simple question. "Free?" "Yes," Marcus said, smiling despite his pain. "You're free." 6 months had passed since the station incident. Marcus stood on a green hillside, watching the sunrise over Haven's Rest. The planet was beautiful, with purple grass and 3 moons that glowed softly in the daytime sky. It was far from any populated systems, perfect for what they were building here. Behind him, Thera rested in the morning sun. She was bigger now, healthier. Her scales gleamed like polished metal. She had learned to speak through a translator device Marcus had built, though she still preferred her light patterns. "Good morning, friend," her voice rumbled from the speakers. "Good morning, Thera," Marcus replied. That was her name now. Not the beast. Not the Ravenous Queen's weapon. Just Thera, a name Marcus had chosen from the ancient Vornath word for precious one. A ship descended from the sky, landing near their shelter. Marcus recognized the Galactic Council markings. They brought another creature today, one that other species had given up on. Over the past months, Haven's Rest had become a sanctuary for the unwanted. A Krell predator that had killed its handlers. A phase serpent that could not control its teleportation. A corrupted AI that other machines feared. Marcus worked with each of them, teaching them control, giving them choices, showing them kindness. Thera helped with all of it. She was gentle with the new arrivals, patient with their fear and anger. She understood what it meant to be called a monster. But today's ship carried something different. Not creatures needing help, but visitors. 7 small aliens emerged from the ship. They had pale blue skin and delicate features. Marcus had never seen their species before. They approached slowly, their eyes fixed on Thera with an expression of profound sadness. "We are the Nathri," their leader said through a translator. "The descendants of the Vornath Empire. We have lived in hiding for 10,000 years, ashamed of what our ancestors did." Marcus felt Thera tense beside him. The Nathri leader came closer, tears running down her face. "We know the truth about you. Our record survived. The queen was my ancestor. You were her daughter, transformed to save your life from the plague. Then you were stolen and turned into a weapon against your will." Thera's light patterns flickered with old pain. "We have the genetic codes," the Nathri continued. "We can restore you. Return you to your original form. You do not have to remain as they made you." Marcus looked at Thera. This was her choice, not his. Thera was quiet for a long time. Her massive form cast shadows across the hillside. Finally, her lights pulsed with careful words. "I was taken from my mother. Changed without choice. Made to kill. Made to destroy." She paused. "But I am not that weapon anymore. This body is mine now. These scales, these claws, this strength. I choose to keep them. I choose to use them to protect, not harm." She looked at the frightened creatures in her sanctuary, the ones she guarded and helped heal. "I choose to remain Thera." The Nathri bowed deeply, honoring her decision. Marcus smiled. He had known she would choose this. Thera had learned the most important human lesson. What matters is not what you were made to be, but what you choose to become. More ships arrived over the following weeks. Scientists wanting to study Marcus's methods. Young people from 100 species wanting to learn. The sanctuary grew. One day the Galactic Council sent a formal message. They apologized to humanity for calling Marcus foolish. They asked if he would train others in his rehabilitation techniques. Marcus wrote a simple response. "We humans have a saying. Where others see monsters, we see possibilities. Where others see weapons, we see people. You called this foolish. We call it hope. And hope, counselors, has changed more lives than weapons ever could." He sent the message and walked outside. Thera was teaching a young Krell predator how to be gentle. The creature was learning. Marcus watched the sunset, 3 moons rising above. Haven's Rest had become more than a sanctuary. It had become proof that even the most broken things could heal, if someone was willing to believe in them. And sometimes, it only took one foolish human to start a revolution.